So I know this time of year, even without trying to sell our house and move, I always declutter a ton. We have the start of the school year coming, birthdays coming, not long after that, holidays. So I always like to, right around this time of the year, really go through and start decluttering different things in the house. Mainly, I normally focus on the kids' stuff. However, with us trying to sell our house, I am going through the entire house. So I am starting in our bedroom. There honestly wasn't too much to go through, but this is also a great time just to reorganize my things. I'm pretty much just going through and being like, okay, what of this stuff have I not used, or can it go in different areas? I know when we're trying to sell that if you can declutter, it makes a huge difference on how the house shows. And even though I have gone through our closet multiple times, these drawers I almost always just ignore because honestly, they overwhelm me. There's just so much random stuff in these drawers. But I know if this house sells, and I'm going to get more into the whole life update in this video because I've been getting so many questions about everything. But the big thing is, I know I don't want to pack just random stuff. So this is great, honestly, even if you're not moving, to do a decluttering like you are moving, because you are so much more nitpicky. Okay, do I really want to pack and unpack this stuff? That question in your head alone sometimes will make or break your decision making. But you're going to notice in today's video, we are literally going all over the house. Our bedroom, the dog room, the kids' rooms. The kids' rooms is really important, and this time of year I do it no matter what, just because I like to go through all their clothes, see what fits, what doesn't fit, what do I have to go shopping for before school starts. School starts here August 11th, so not too much longer before the kids are back in school. But also just going through any of their toys, things they don't play with anymore, don't want anymore. The great thing about the kids is I have done this with all of them since they were about 3 years old. So they are really good at decluttering and making their own decisions. I just know when birthdays come along, when Christmas comes along, they end up with so much extra stuff that to be able to go through and get rid of all the stuff they don't use already, it just makes it go a lot smoother when we have an abundance of gifts coming into the house. And for us, our birthday season is insane. We literally have Freya end of August, and then in September we have Athena, then Xander, then Bjorn. Literally every kid is within a month of each other, and it gets a little chaotic around here. You can see Athena was very curious in what I was doing. She is very curious about everything nowadays, and when she is up, she wants to be by mama. So I try to get as much done when she is napping, but it's not always possible. There are some days where everything has to be done with a baby on the hip.
Want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around in style, sleeves rolled up, glasses on, and then you make that smile and my heart starts racing when I'm with you.
Also, don't mind me putting everything in black garbage bags. I promise you these are not going into the garbage. I just did not have boxes on this day to fill boxes with donations. Boxes definitely are usually my preferred way to do it. So when I had boxes, I tried to put stuff in them, but sometimes I just don't have them. I am literally being so strict on myself. I have so many different things that I use rarely, but sometimes I'd rather use something else. So if I don't use it on a regular basis, I'm just letting it go. Like me, I love to label stuff, and the Cricut is awesome for that. But I feel like my big Cricut is great if you do a bunch of crafty stuff. My mom uses hers all the time. I actually like my smaller one more because usually I'm not doing like crafty stuff. Normally it's labeling and organizing and things like that. And I don't need the giant one for that. But then also just, I have a bunch of stuff from Athena with her breastfeeding and my pumping journey and everything, and I don't need that stuff anymore. So going through and getting rid of all of those different type of things, I did find, and I was really happy. So breast pumps, I didn't want to sell it. I wanted to give it to someone in need, but I was afraid. Normally I put my stuff on Facebook Marketplace. That way a mama in need can get it for free. But I was so nervous that if I did that, someone would take it and then just resell it and totally wouldn't do what I wanted to do. But Donations Place don't accept it. Well, my mom and, it was my sister, had a great idea about calling the local pregnancy women's center over here. And even though they don't take them in as donations, one of the girls that works there, she actually does take them, and then she sends them over to Africa so that women over there can get free breast pumps. Because nowadays, most people with health insurance can get a breast pump for free. So it's not as big of a deal nowadays here. But I knew that someone was going to need one if it was a situation of one broke or something like that. And I just really wanted it to go to a mama in need. So if you ever have things that you're like, oh, people won't accept it, but you know it's a product, I highly recommend calling around. I called the local women's shelter, and then I called that pregnancy help center, and I was very happy with the idea of it going to someone that can send it overseas and make sure women who need it are the ones that are going to be getting it.
I've been dreaming so much lately about your face when you're smiling. It's the only thing that saves me. Hey, I don't know if I told you that I think you're beautiful, and how I can't wait to hold you. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm
All right, so let's talk about life updates, because I haven't talked about much about us moving over here, and honestly, it's because I forget sometimes that people that follow me over here don't always follow our family vlog channel, and we've been very open and everything over there. So I figured we would talk about it today and what is going on. So yes, we do have our house on the market, and we are currently trying to sell it. Now, us selling it is not really a need thing, but more of a want thing. We recently found this plot of land. It's 10 acres. It has a massive pond in it. The pond takes up an acre of the land on its own. And it has the area for the animals we would like. It has a huge pole barn, which is something that Bobby really wants. And we honestly just fell in love with it. And when we found it, that is when we decided to put our house on the market, because we're like, okay, we obviously can't get this loan without selling our house first. So we then quickly put it on the market, and now we are just waiting. The house has been on the market now for about 3 weeks. And we've had interested people, but no offers yet. Now, one thing Bobby and I are trying to figure out is, because school starts very soon, is how long will we leave the house on the market before taking it off the market and waiting again until spring. And the reason we would do that is the place we are looking at is about an hour and a half from where we are right now. So the kids would automatically be going to different schools, and we just don't really want to be moving the kids in the middle of a school year. So we have decided, if the house does not sell within the next 2 weeks, maybe 3, like I said, we're still talking about this, we would then pull the house off the market and wait until the springtime. I'm also noticing, and you guys can let me know in the comments below if you're noticing this also, but with everything going on with the feds, I feel like the market has really slowed down. Everyone's like, okay, what's going on? Are interest rates going to go down? What is going on? Now, in Bobby and my head, we're like, hey, we don't care if we pay a little bit higher of an interest rate, because most likely if you're paying a little bit higher of an interest rate, you're going to end up getting a better deal on the house. But the second interest rates drop, housing market's probably going to go up again, and you're going to deal with a lot more people back in the market looking for houses, which is going to make house prices go up. So our thought is we would rather sell our house for a little bit less now and be able to get a house for a little bit less and then refinance in the future to get the lower interest rate. That's just what's going through our head when it comes to all of this. Oh, by the way, I am always surprised at how good wood looks after just a really good pressure washing. If you have an old wood fence and it's just looking dingy and gross, I highly recommend just pulling your pressure washer out and giving it a good pressure washing. These garden beds look so much better now that I just got out here. Now, it was messy. Oh my goodness, you cannot tell on film. But in person, I was absolutely covered in the mud and dirt that was blowing up just from the pressure washer hitting the ground and everything. But it did look a ton better. But yes, this is definitely a situation of not needing to sell. We just want to sell. Another question I was getting is, why are we selling after we've done so much to this house? And I've talked about this before. First off, when we moved down here, we weren't 100% sure where we wanted to be because we moved across the country. Like, I had a good idea of the area, but only because of vacationing. My parents have a house in Daytona, so I have come and know this area pretty well, but I know it well based off of coming down here on vacation, not actually living here. And now with being here for 3.5 years, we have a much better idea of what we want. And the big thing that we want is more country living. Bobby and I are both the type of people that we would much rather have an area that is a lot less traffic, a lot less tourism. And in Wisconsin, we lived in the country. Now, we lived in a subdivision in the country, so it's kind of weird. But we lived in a very small town, a good hour and a half away from any of the big cities. We were about an hour and a half from Milwaukee, about an hour and a half from Madison, and we loved it. It takes out so much of the drama of living in big cities that we really want to get back to that. And then on top of that, we really want the land. Nowadays, with children and everything, I'm constantly wanting to let them go outside and explore and ride their bikes. But then I also always have the fear of not so much them getting into trouble, but the stories of people freaking out because kids are outside riding their bikes unsupervised. And it's he's 12. So I want to be able to have the kids have more freedom to be able to go outside and ride their bikes and just let them be kids again. And I know with land, that's going to make things a lot more possible. The kids are excited because we told them that if we get land, they can get dirt bikes, and they love dirt bikes. Whenever we go to Wisconsin and visit Bobby's friend Carson, the kids are always riding the dirt bikes and the four-wheelers, and it's one of their favorite things to do. Oh, but as you can see, I moved back into the house. This is their dog pet cabinet thing. So these are just stock cabinets we got from Lowe's a while back that we painted white. And we use this to hold all of our animal supplies. So anything that has to do with food, medications, treats, literally everything that's animal related goes in here. But as you can see, it gets very dirty. This area is where Bailey's dog bowl usually sits, which is why it is as dirty as it is. Bailey is our St. Bernard, so needless to say, when he eats, he's not a very clean eater. But this was perfect to be able to get in here, get everything cleaned. There's just also a lot of stuff because this is not an area that we go through on a regular basis. And we just had a ton of stuff we did not need in here. An old vent cover, we why do we have an old vent cover? So I was actually surprised at how much I was able to declutter out of this cabinet, because I honestly thought I was just going to quickly reorganize it and give it a quick cleaning. I was not expecting the actual amount of stuff I found that I didn't need.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart stops beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl.
Okay, next question we've been getting is, what animals do we want on our land? So the whole point of getting land is also to create a more self-sufficient homestead situation. So what I have been looking into animal-wise is, obviously we'd have the ducks. We love our ducks. They have such a personality, and they are a very good dual purpose animal. They're loving, they're friendly with the kids, and then obviously they give us eggs and everything. And that is my thought with any animal we get on our land, is we want them to be very dual purpose, but also family friendly. So I have been looking into cows, either Highland cows or Dexter cows. They're both smaller cows, but they're also A2 protein cows, which I really was hoping for. And they're known for being more docile, family friendly. And then obviously they are dual purpose. These animals would definitely be more than just pets, which I know some people aren't comfortable with. But like I said, think homestead, think self-sufficiency. And then the other thing we're looking into are pigs. I have not decided what breed yet. Not potbelly though. That much I know. I've looked into potbelly. They can be a handful. And once again, I want a breed that's decent size, but a manageable size. I don't want a 1,000-pound pig or something like that. We did think about goats, but from what I've heard from local farmers that have homesteads in our area, and like not big production farms, but like little homestead farms in our area, goats are a handful. They are so sweet and so cute. We actually just went to the Hidden Hen in New Smyrna, and they have goats, and they are the sweetest things in the world. But they are troublemakers. They will get out of anything, and they're really good at also destroying stuff. So our plan is not to get goats, but yes, we'd like to get cattle, pigs, and then obviously all the birds. All the birds. I want the chickens. I want the ducks. And rabbits. Rabbits are another thing that's really family friendly, but they're also great dual purpose animals. So currently, those are what are on our list, but it'll probably all happen in time. We're not going to buy the land and then buy like 20 different animals to throw on the land. I am someone that really, really likes to do my research before jumping into anything. So I have been researching so much about the different breeds, what you need to take care of them, financially, how much they cost to compare to how much like they save you. So like a cow, you obviously are going to pay to take care of them and raise them. But if it comes to milk production, meat production, things like that, where does it all even out? Making lunch real quick in our sous vide. Sous vide is awesome, not just for sponsoring today's video, but they just make cooking, especially lunches for us, so much easier. With constantly being busy with something, lunch is always the hardest meal of the day for me. And with this, it's literally minutes to prepare, and then I just kind of set it and let it go. As a busy mom, I am always on the go, always doing something, and honestly, I am terrible at remembering to eat during the day. I get so caught up on taking care of everyone else that I just forget about myself. And that's where sous vide comes in. It's a smart countertop oven and a meal delivery service. And it has made my days so much easier. No planning, no prep, just load the meals, tap start, and get on with my day. They have over 50 chef-created meals each week, and I ordered some of our favorites, the ribs, salmon, and chicken, and even some of the lava cake. And they were delivered right to my door. Best part, I can set this up in the morning and set it to cook later, and sous vide's cool to cook technology keeps it safely refrigerated until I'm ready to eat. Plus, they offer a 100-day risk-free trial, so you can try it out for yourself. I've linked it in the description box below, so get 16 free meals today when ordering sous vide with my special link. So cook less, live more, and enjoy your lunch break.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love. Tell me if I'm wrong, 'cause it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love.
Okay, next question that we have been asked when it comes to buying land and stuff is, do our parents or my parents still plan on moving onto the land with us? So yes, that is still the plan. So in the one place that we have found that we are currently interested in, we also have been having to research if we can parcel off the land. That way my parents could build a house on it. Or we have looked into just raw land and us building onto raw land. But I'll be honest, and I will take any of your guys' info and advice if you have ever done this yourself. The idea of buying raw land terrifies me because I feel like there's a lot of unknown to it. Like, I've only ever bought a house that's on land. So I've already had running water and utilities and all of these things. And I know raw land, you have to worry about well and septic and getting power and all the things that go with it. So it has me a little bit more anxious. And like I said, I'm someone that likes to research everything like a crazy person until I do anything. So we've been looking at raw land, but I'm just a little bit more hesitant about the idea of raw land. I obviously would much rather find land with at least a small house on it, even if it wasn't like the perfect house for us. If it was a good enough price, I'd be okay with being like, okay, we'll buy this. Even if we end up building a new house on the land, at least we know it has everything there already that we need. But that's all stuff we're looking into. But yes, my parents do still plan on moving on to the land with us. That has kind of been our thought with all of it, with my parents getting older. Now they're still very healthy and active, but we know eventually that's not going to be the thing. We all get old, we all get broken and things like that. And it'd be really nice to have them nearby, but at the same time, not living with us. I am okay with being neighbors. They just can't live in our house because we might drive each other crazy. I can't do that. So we have been looking at zoning rules and things like that. And there's just so much that goes into it, which is why it's like, this may happen soon. It may not happen for a little while. It just kind of depends on how everything falls into place. We obviously want to make sure that we're comfortable with every decision that's being made, and my parents are comfortable with every decision that's being made.
We've been fighting forever, gone over this 1,000 times before.
All right, so I just recently got a comment about the way I wash the counters, where I just kind of swipe everything onto the floor. So I'm curious how you do it. So I will try and wipe stuff into either the sink or the garbage if I don't plan on cleaning my floors. But if I plan on cleaning the floors, then I just wipe it onto the floor. And I'm curious if you're like that also. That's just how I do it. But someone mentioned that it bugs them. Does it bug you? Like, I never even thought about it. Like I said, if I am not going to be vacuuming, and when I vacuum, I mop at the same time because I use my vacuum mop, I just put it onto the floor. But if I am just wiping the counters and not planning on cleaning the floors like right away, that is when I will like either catch it in my rag, wipe into the garbage, wipe it in the sink, or anything like that. But it was that time of the week that I needed to give our bedding a really good wash. So I'm just going in here. I like to use OxyClean, my Tide laundry detergent, and then scent boosters, and then sometimes borax, depending on if there's any built up stains or anything. So I have all of those three. I will say I still love those sheet laundry detergents, especially for the kids. So it makes it so much easier for them when it comes to stuff. But you can see here, we moved into Freya's room. So Freya doesn't really have a crazy amount of toys. Like, I don't think, I think she's got a pretty normal amount. So we're just going through if anything's broken. So like she had a bunch of these little dress up shoes that don't fit her anymore. And I been afraid that she's going to end up hurting herself trying to walk around in them. So we got rid of all of those, but she made every decision. So if she wanted to keep something, she kept it. We talked about it, and nothing was like, okay, you have to keep these, you have to get rid of these. But we just looked at everything and made those decisions of what she wanted and what she didn't want anymore. And some of the stuff, I was even surprised that she was getting rid of it. But she was like, no, I don't like this anymore. I don't play with it. And she put in there, I'm like, okay, your decision, your choice. I like to give the kids this freedom. And like I said, when you start doing this at such a young age, they end up doing a really good job because they get super used to it, where it's a very quick go through when we do it. I don't think I spent more than 30 minutes in her room on this day. And the only reason it was a little bit longer was because of also having to go through her clothes. I can't believe that she's starting kindergarten this year. But with that, I'm like, okay, we have to go through your clothes, see how many pants you have that fit you, how many shorts you have that fit you. I know she's got enough dresses. Girl loves her dresses. But I wanted to make sure she had other things. The other thing we have to get her is tennis shoes. Normally, she is always in either sandals or her Crocs. Those are her favorite things to wear. But definitely need tennis shoes for school. We actually just went school shopping today. Whew, it's always fun on your pocketbook. $250 later just for Freya and Bjorn in school supplies and some clothing stuff, but not like a lot. Literally, when it comes to the clothes we got today, it was like socks, underwear, and tennis shoes. Each of the kids, or Xander, I still have to take tennis shoe shopping. He was still in bed, and I asked him if he wanted to come with. He said no. So it was just Bjorn, Freya, and I that went to Target. But yeah, $250. It's always crazy how much all of this costs. But I like to do this and take a good mental note of what each kid in the family needs for the next school year. Pretty much what I found when it came to Freya is jeans-wise, she was good. Shorts, skirts, she was good. Even the like biker shorts that she had, those all fit her well. But leggings, she didn't really have any that were fitting her well, or any of the like sweatpants. And then t-shirts. Girl has like 3 t-shirts and that's it, because she is always wearing dresses. So great thing about her age is I went on Amazon, and for $100, I was able to buy her, what was it, like 10 t-shirts that are super cute, and then like 8 different pairs of leggings, and it'll just be enough to add to her wardrobe for the school year. The boys are a little bit harder just because they really are at an age where I have to take them with me shopping. One, because style. Their styles are changing so much. Xander is going into 7th grade, so he's obviously personality-wise, maturity-wise, very much changing. And they also just are growing so much faster. Like at that 4 or 5 years old, it's so much easier to like go on Amazon and be like, okay, I want 5 to 6 T clothes, and you know it pretty much is going to fit. But they start hitting those older ages, and it's like, yeah, I have no idea what size you are, so you have to come with and try stuff on. So hers, literally school shopping when it came to clothes, I got her done this day. After I figured out what she needed, I jumped on Amazon, was able to spend $100 on a complete wardrobe for the school year. But one thing that is really good about doing this is, like, in my brain before I started, I thought Xander needed a ton of new clothes for the school year, and I noticed after we went through, he actually had a ton of shirts. Like, kid does not need any shirts or sweatshirts or anything like that. We got rid of some because they were too small, but most of those fit him. Some because of style, because I told the boys, I'm like, if they don't fit, put them in the bag. If you just don't like them anymore and they're not your style, don't feel bad, just put them in the bag, because I'm not going to make you keep something that you were interested in this video game last year, but you're not anymore. But what I did notice is he needed new pants and new shorts. He has grown in height a ton this summer, like literally 3 inches in a matter of a couple months. He went from being slightly shorter than me to now taller than me in like 3 months. So I'm glad we did this, because it allowed me to go through and really figure out what each of the kids needed. And then Bjorn, I thought he was good on shirts, but needed bottoms. And he's actually completely fine on jeans and shorts and stuff. And he just needed shirts. Like, he's running low on different t-shirts and things like that. So definitely a good time to go through all your kids' stuff, figure out what they wear, what they don't wear, and what they need or do not need. This will save you so much money also, because if I would have went shopping before doing this decluttering, I would have bought a bunch of stuff the kids didn't need and then had to go back to actually buy the stuff they did need.
We got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the biggest band in town. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million.
Also, if you're curious why some of the clothes are hung inside out and crooked and everything, so like I said before, the boys do their own laundry. I taught them both around 8 years old how to do that. One, it's nice as a mom to have one less thing on my plate, but also I try and raise the kids to know these basic skills. That way, when they move out on their own, they know some of the basics, like how to do their own laundry, how to clean dishes, cook, things like that. And laundry is definitely one of those things that once they hit the height that they can get things in and out of the washer and dryer is when I usually try and teach them. But as you can see, especially Bjorn, when he puts his stuff away, he just kind of throws it on the hanger, which normally I don't worry about because I'm not in their closet. They are, so they can handle it. I am definitely a fan of the no fold method, which is why we have these cube organizers. They hang up their shirts and their sweatshirts and stuff, but then they have a cube for socks, underwear, shorts, pants. None of my kids really wear pajamas often. Freya does more than the boys, so they'll often just wear a t-shirt and like the athletic shorts to bed. So they don't have a ton of pajamas. They had a pair, and actually on this day they're like, yeah, we don't wear them. They're too hot and sticky and we just don't put them. So we put those in the donations right away. Also, going through the toys, the boys don't have obviously nearly as many toys. They're getting slowly out of that phase, but it's always nice to go through these. Also, remember to go through your kids' socks and underwear and everything. I often forget this and ended up finding out that most of Bjorn's underwear did not fit him, and that was one of the things we had to replenish. And then socks, I always like to go through. Now, when I do socks, actually, I was just talking about this today because little girl socks all have patterns on them, and I do not like sorting socks. So when I buy the kids' socks, I buy them one style. That way, if one gets a hole in it, you just put it in your sock bin and it will match every other sock that is in there. And then I never have that basket of socks that need to be sorted. I literally just put them in the corresponding bin they need to go in, and we are done. But for little girls, all of them had patterns on them. I had such a hard time just finding plain like pink or blue socks because I wanted them to also be a different color. The boys have black. Bobby has black, but he's got a different shape of sock and design, so I can tell the difference between them. But I needed something for Freya that would stand out a little bit, and I was having such a struggle because she doesn't usually wear socks. She's like me. She walks around barefoot most of the time, puts her Crocs on if she needs to. But with going to school, I'm like, okay, you need tennies and you need socks. So yeah, little girl socks are a little bit more difficult. I did find some. They are white, and then some of them had colored on the heel and toe. So those I'll have to sort a little bit more, but I also figure that if she throws socks on and they don't match completely during the school year, it's honestly not going to be the end of the world. But I was very impressed with how much we got rid of. You guys know me. I always tell you, decluttering is not one and done. This is something that's no different than going through your laundry or washing dishes. You have to stay on top of it because things change. Like, you never know. And you're usually always consuming. So if you're always consuming, you also have to always be decluttering. So just getting in the habit of a couple times a year being able to go through your stuff and just do a quick declutter, especially when you have kids, it really does help out. You can see Xander has decided that he's not into the bright shorts anymore. So any of the shorts that had really bright patterns on them, he didn't want, so we got rid of those. It's not that they didn't fit, they're just not his style anymore. He also had some shorts that, man, they were rough. And I'm like, okay, you do not need these anymore. We will buy you new ones. And he was kind of sad about that because they were his favorite shorts. But I'm like, child, they are so stained, and like washing them doesn't get them clean anymore. We definitely need to get you some new shorts. But I had him trying on pretty much all of his jeans unless I had seen him wear them recently. Any pants I had him try on, and yeah, pretty much all of them were too small. Thankfully, he has finally hit the size where I can buy men's size pants for him, which makes my life so much easier. It is so much easier to just get a waist and hem length rather than dealing with boy sizes, 12, whatever. I was so happy about that. So happy. But if you guys made it this far in today's video, you guys are my true MVPs. You guys know I appreciate you so much. You guys, like, the people that come to the end, comment, share, do all those things. I really appreciate you. So if you made it this far, drop this emoji down below just so I know who my true MVPs are. Also, if you made it this far and you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, why haven't you? Because, hey, we should be friends. This is the best community here on YouTube. Literally, no lies. We have the best community here. Everyone in the comments is always so uplifting and helpful and answering questions. Like, you guys know how much I absolutely love and adore each and every one of you. But I'm going to end that here today. We ended up getting rid of 2 boxes and 5 black garbage bags of stuff. Even I was mind blown. But I'll see you next time. Bye.